Hello, everyone, and welcome to Music with Miss Chrissy. This week we are going to be talking about Peter and the Wolf, one of my most favorite pieces of music since I was a kid. I remember being your age and listening to this music over and over in my house with a toy record player I had. Ugh, so fun. What I love about this music is that it tells a whole story without even using any words. There are some versions that have a narrator, but we're going to talk about how the instruments do the talking. So, first, let's learn the story so you have an idea of what we're talking about. The story, of course, features a little boy named Peter, who is a Russian boy who lives near the woods. And one day, Peter and his friends, the bird and the duck, go to the meadow. The bird and the duck play in the pond, and a cat tries to grab the bird but fails. Grandfather warns Peter about a wolf in the woods and takes Peter home and locks the gate. And as soon as Peter and his grandfather leave the meadow, the wolf comes out of the forest. The wolf catches the duck and swallows her, and then the wolf turns his attention to the cat and the bird who are up in the tree. Peter watches all of this and makes a plan to capture the wolf. In the end, Peter and the bird work together to catch the wolf with a rope. When some hunters arrive, Peter asks them to help take the wolf to the zoo. In celebration, everyone parades the wolf to his new home. The duck is still alive and can be heard quacking inside the wolf. So that is our story. Let's now learn about how the different instruments help us tell the story. So here are our characters. Of course, we have Peter. Didn't mean to do that. We have Peter, and we have the grandfather, and we have Peter's friends, the duck and the bird, and here is the cat, and of course the wolf and the hunters. So each one has their own sound. Here's what we're going to do for each character. I'm going to let you listen, and you are going to tell me which instrument this is. I can see my video sort of blocking the clarinet. Let's see if I can move me a little bit. There we go. Okay. So let's listen to Peter's sound, and you tell me if you think it's played by stringed instruments, the bassoon, the oboe, the timpani, the French horn, the clarinet, or the flute. If you guessed stringed instruments, you are right. The strings play Peter's theme. Okay, let's move on to the bird. Which instrument was that? It's not the strings, we already know. Is it this big drum, the timpani, the oboe, the bassoon, the French horn, the clarinet, or the flute? If you guessed the flute, you were right. What about the duck? Okay, we already know it's not the strings or the flute. Is it the bassoon, the oboe, the timpani, the French horn, or the clarinet? This one is the oboe. Let's listen to that sound again. A lot of people don't know what an oboe sounds like, so let's give it a listen. It even sounds a little quacky, doesn't it? And next we have our cat. What does the cat sound like? Who plays the cat? Is it the bassoon, the timpani, the French horn, or the clarinet? If you said clarinet, you were right. Now let's listen to the grandfather. So, do we think that is the bassoon, the timpani, or the French horn? If you said bassoon, that's the right answer. Congratulations. The bassoon is another one we don't always hear very often. Let's give the bassoon one more listen, shall we? Now for the wolf. What does the wolf sound like? Was that timpani or French horn? That's not a tough one. You probably send French horn, and you are right. It's the French horns. A whole section, not just one. What about the hunter? Well, the hunters and their guns. Let's give them a listen. So this is the theme of the hunters. That's sort of a little bit of everything. And then this is the sound of the guns the hunters fire. So there you go. Those are all the instruments that help tell the story without any words at all. Now, in your next slide in Seesaw, there is a shorter video that shows an orchestra close up these GoPro cameras, and they ride up on those musicians playing all those instruments. And you can see them playing all these themes and a little bit of the story of Peter and the Wolf. And then the next screen is the whole story of Peter and the Wolf told with a cartoon, and it has a narrator as well. I think you'll probably enjoy that one. But if you're someone who doesn't like things that are a little bit scary, it might be a little intense for you. So just know that going in. If it's not for you, it's okay if it's not for you. Well, that's our lesson on Peter and the Wolf. Please give it a listen, enjoy the story, and pay attention to how all these different instruments come together to tell the story. See you soon, everyone.